Palantir announces a new partnership to expand their AI footprint, and that's alongside edge-scale AI in the manufacturing to utilities to healthcare and many more industries, as well as Peter Thiel continuing to sell shares into this week. So really quick first, the past 2 days, Peter Thiel continues to offload several million shares at a time. This latest Form 4 shows his remaining holdings of around 71 million Class A shares, worth around $2.5 billion at the current market price. So do as you want with this information. If you've been watching the past week though, he has sold off about 20 million shares before, which is inclusive of that 927 transaction here. So with the additional more than 9 million shares recently the last 2 days, the recent selling has been around 30 million shares. I know there's a lot of forms to track, so waiting for the Form 4 is the best way in my opinion, instead of tracking all the individual Form 144s. And it's a pretty good way to see the latest group of transactions, although it can spill over like this. But do as you want with this information. As I mentioned, it's what you think is appropriate or tolerable to you when it comes to insider selling, especially from someone like Peter Thiel that is outside of the daily operations of Palantir at this point. Now, with Palantir's new partnership announcement, they also released a blog post that goes into a bit more detail. But essentially, this partnership is around edge devices, so for example, sensors, machines, or controllers, and bridging that gap between the centralized cloud infrastructure that it communicates with. It's called Live Edge, and it's a combination of Palantir's Apollo and sensor inference platform, along with EdgeScale's virtual connected edge or VCE cloud, to deliver this to those autonomous devices mentioned. Now, real world applications wise, this is everywhere, like manufacturing, for example, from different areas of line to utilities where you have devices out in the field, to healthcare, like I mentioned, where patients have implants to the machines hooked up to them in someone's room. And noting the tech that they bring up specifically in the article kind of blend into our world right now. They bring up baseband units, routers, programmable logic controllers, and SCADA units and systems, as well as video cameras and sensors. So maybe not necessarily in our own personal daily lives are we managing these, but for enterprises and companies, this is needed for scalability. And applying AI is a bigger endeavor than meets the eye because Live Edge allows the overcoming of certain barriers like just working with proprietary technology or something that's out of date or obsolete, as well as reachability, absence of infrastructure, or just general scale needed. Live Edge works alongside Palantir's already deep-seated knowledge in with their Edge AI in order to overcome these issues and is able to offer that mission-critical reliability that Palantir is known for, as well as zero-trust security, and all while having a fully managed infrastructure to deploy AI at scale when dealing with this kind of environment. So it's always great to see Palantir expanding their reach and footprint and continue to build up their foundations in concepts that are transferable from one industry to another. It might seem meticulous right now, but the ability to apply your solutions across industry is one of the factors needed to hyperscale, where we always hear about the incoming deals from all sorts of different enterprises on the commercial side. This partnership is supposed to help increase that reach where lots of customers have very specific needs or priorities at a time. And if one thing is to get into the door and consider Palantir's products because of this, then more power to them to actually solve that issue first, and then considering the expansive offerings that Palantir has later on to eventually spread that. No one is necessarily looking for a complete overhaul and transformation at the moment, but rather specific fixes are probably easier to digest. And if that's what it takes to get the ball rolling, I'm all for it. But what are your thoughts below? And I'll see you in the next video.